everybody. I hope you are well. It is Craig, Whisperinstoryteller here, as always. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas time and New Year. And of course, I wish you all the very best in health and happiness and wealth and all of that jazz for 2022. So guys, I thought I would do something which I set out, and that was to have a drive around the local area in which I live. So it is Sunday the 2nd of January and it's quite sleepy here. Everybody is recovering from all of the excesses of the last week and 2 weeks or so. And you can see there's hardly any traffic on the road, and it's quite a great time to do this tour if you like. So anyone who is not familiar, I live in a place called South Shields, which is located in the northeast coast of England. South Shields is a market town, and it's south of the River Tyne, which of course is where Newcastle is situated on the other side, and north of the River Wear, which is of course where Sunderland and Durham are located. So this place is known as South Tyneside. It's a large kind of built up area, lots of historical things about it, such as the Romans had a heavy presence here. They called this place Arbear. It's linked to Catherine Cookson, which is an author who wrote lots of historical romance dramas, which are all linked here. She's got lots of film versions made as well, the 15 Streets being one of them. So South Shields isn't too far away from where I was growing up, a place called Whitburn. So here we are driving northwards. You see that nice low sun in the sky there? That's the winter sun. Very low and often blinds you when you drive. So I had to wear sunglasses. So we're going to take this left. I'm going to head into Cleaton. Cleaton is a nice village which is located, connected almost to Whitburn, which is where I mentioned earlier that I grew up. But we're not going to go to Whitburn just yet. We'll keep driving a little bit further north. So Cleaton is a really nice, quiet place. Lots of early morning joggers there, blowing away the cobwebs of the New Year celebrations. And Whitburn is located more or less to the left of here. I sometimes go to that place on the right there, called the Britannia. They do a really nice carvery there. If we're going to go to Whitburn, you'd follow that car to the left there. But we'll keep going. Newcastle Road. Yeah, so you've got Whitburn and Claydon on your left there, and to the right you would head into Bolton, which is another little area of South Shields. Nice place to live, some lovely houses on the left there that I've always wanted to live in, one with a little turret. So we are approaching a place called Seaburn, Dean. So again, Whitburn would be on your left. You could take another left coming up, and that would take you right into the heart of Whitburn village. But again, we'll just keep going. So we'll not take that left, we'll just keep going towards Sunderland. Best time of the day to drive is early in the morning. So you've got the Sunderland football training ground on the left hand side. If you are a football fan. So right now we are heading into Fulwell. A place called Fulwell, just on your left hand side. You'll see some residential areas coming up now. So that is Fulwell, which is connected to Roker. Yes, so we are heading mainly towards the city centre of Sunderland. There's people out there for an early morning stroll by the looks of things. It's either that or they're returning home from last night. So we're going to take a left here, and we're going to continue on this road toward Sunderland. And again, that sun is so low in the sky, and you know, it's so mild here at the moment. We've had a record-breaking mild New Year. We were well into double figures. I think it was about 12, 13 degrees, and it was even 17 degrees in northern Wales. The news reports were saying it's the warmest New Year on record. We all seem to be breaking some kind of record when it comes to heat and warmth. We had quite a cold Christmas, actually. It was very cold. We didn't have any snow, so there was no white Christmas. But it's very rare that we do get a white Christmas these days. I think with the UK being so moderate and a lot of transient weather. So if you turned left here, you would go right into Fulwell and Sea Road areas. But we're going to keep going ahead. So we are now in Sunderland. If you took a right, down where that pub is there on the right hand side there, you would enter a place called Southwick. We're going to keep going straight ahead down Newcastle Road. Again, quite a large residential area. Shops, homes, businesses, all kind of share the same space. In England, too, a lot of people from overseas is a very place with lots of buildings all packed together. That's because we don't have a great deal of space and we tend to use the space we have, so we have homes that are very, very close together. I actually used to go to a swimming baths which was located on the left hand side down here, but it is now long gone. It was called Newcastle Road Baths. So we're now approaching Roker and the Wee Chief. Quite a big meeting place for people back in the day. Lots of traffic lights. You've got to watch yourself because every few yards there's more traffic lights, and a few weeks ago I went through a red light. I just kind of zoned out just for a little bit and missed the red light, and you've really got to watch it, especially if you're entering the city centre. And that's the Wee Chief just on the left hand side there, that big pub. Just approaching it now. Well, we've got to stop again, another red light. Well, that person's just walking through past the doorway. Yeah, and that used to be a really big meeting place for a lot of people. And if I was to turn right, I would reach the Stadium of Light, which is the Sunderland Football Club's stadium. Get a lot of concerts there. Elton John is going there in 2022, I believe. If you're an Elton John fan. And I actually had a time in my life when I used to live in this area, just to the left. And one of my earliest memories was buying a book of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe in Scripture Union, which was a bookshop linked to the church. And it was just on the left that we've passed. And if you look straight ahead, you'll see Weymouth Bridge, which takes us into the city of Sunderland itself. Now, Sunderland was a major, thriving, historic town. Shipbuilding was what it did for centuries, for hundreds of years. And if you looked left at this point, you would see the River Wear snaking across the area, and there would be lots of ships moored and being built in dry docks. But they've all long since gone, and the River Wear is a ghost town now. And so funny that a lot of ships were built here in Sunderland, and that's why they call us Mackhams. Mackhams meaning make them, Mackham. And over in Australia a few years ago, I was in Sydney and I came across a beautiful big tall ship that was moored in on the dock, and it was actually built in Sunderland. Here we have nothing to commemorate our rich shipbuilding history. And I do think it's a bit of a missed opportunity to acquire a floating museum kind of in the River Wear dock area. So this is all new part of the city which is being built, and we're passing the old Gilbridge police station. Every time I seem to come to Sunderland now, which isn't very often, it's different. The road system's very weird and one way. the Empire Theatre is just to the left of this area of the road. And that's a lovely historic theatre known for the last performance of Sid James from the Carry On films. And Debenhams is located just to the left, a place where I used to work many years ago. Debenhams is a big department store which is now defunct. It went into liquidation. Sign of the downturn of the economy. A lot of shops have been closed now due to lots of reasons, and I guess the pandemic was one of the major contributors. Sunderland will always be home for me, but it lacks a heartbeat at the moment. It doesn't seem to have gained an identity since we stopped building ships. And like a lot of places in northern England, it is crumbling and just needs some money pumping into the city just to bring it back to life. Of course, Newcastle is a beautiful, beautiful city. Newcastle and Sunderland are not very far apart at all, but Newcastle is rich, vibrant, lots of money and thriving economy almost compared to Sunderland. So now heading to the Ashbrook area of town, which is quite one of the nice areas. But we're going to go and do a big loop, and we're going to go back over the bridge. To the left here is the big civic centre, and the park is there on the left as well, Mowbray Park. And again, it's so eerie that it's so quiet. There's normally lots and lots of traffic. Yeah, there's a lot of feeling of the government of the UK, of England, kind of forgetting all about us northerly folk. And we just feel there's not much kind of attention given to these areas. And you know, Sunderland has been ravaged by just a lack of funding in general, which is such a shame because it really was a thriving place back even in my time. So what we'll do is we'll take a left here and we will loop back round, and I'll take you down by the seafront on Sunderland, and we'll go to back toward where my neck of the woods is. So to the right here is Hendon. Hendon, also known as the East End of Sunderland. A lot of my dad's family actually lived in Hendon and came from Hendon, I'm not sure what it's like down there now, but we're not going to go there today. We're going to go back over the bridge. We'll take a right. So we just came this way not long ago when we took that road around, so we've done a big circle. And you might see the Stadium of Light kind of just jutting above the buildings on your left. So we're just going to go take a right now. And here we go back to the bridge. So if we look over to the left, we'll see if we can see it. So the sea is literally just to the right here. So we will take another right and we'll go down onto the coast road. And again, this is the road that we came across to enter Sunderland. So Sunderland is a new city. I'm not quite sure when it was given city status. It was just a town. The town of Sunderland. But now a city. So just to the left here is a place where I lived for a little bit when I was really young. To the right is St. Peter's Church. So this is known as the Barbary Coast. I'm not sure why. And again, classed as Roker. There's a nice marina just on the right hand side down here, and there's an estate of houses which is about 20-year-old. We'll probably not see them on the road here. And I can't turn the camera around, it's just facing frontwards. Sunderland's football ground used to be down here. It was called Roker Park. And traditionally, a lot of these areas were full of football fans every Saturday. And a lot of these pubs were thriving with all the match goers. But since they relocated to the Stadium of Light, these areas are a lot quieter now. So here we are, right on the coast, and that on the right is the Bungalow Cafe. It's been there as long as I can remember. And here we are on the stretch of coast that takes us right the way to the River Tyne. There's a nice lighthouse just on the right hand side. Roker Lighthouse or Seaburn Lighthouse. So this whole area is Seaburn. And that is Roker Park on the left hand side. We have the annual air show, Seaburn International Air Show, which takes place every July, and it's right along this stretch of coast. And we have things like bombers, red arrows, that all display along the seafront, and fairgrounds, a real carnival atmosphere. Really nice, yeah. Brings a lot of people to the area. But at the moment it's very sedate. Many years ago the council also tried to do Seaburn illuminations. In fact, we still do put a lot of lights in here at Christmas time. And a few weeks ago I tried to do a drive at night, just before Christmas, but it was that foggy and dark, you couldn't really see what was going on. So I decided to scrap it. And this here is Seaburn seafront, and this is all new on the left hand side coming up. So historically we always had a fairground and such, but they've now built a hotel. The shack, what you can see there, the stack, which is a big courtyard of pubs and restaurants. And that used to be the fairground there on the left hand side, but that's now gone. And it's a really nice sandy beach, a nice stretch of beach there on the right hand side. In the summer it gets really busy. We used to have a place called the Bay, which is just on the left where them flats are, just coming up now. We used to have things like the Rolling Stones played there before they were big, before they were famous, just on the left. It was called the Bay. A lot of groups would play there back in the 60s. We're now entering Whitburn. So on the left there you can see Cornthwaite Park. In fact, I'll take a right here. The fisherman's cottage is on the right hand side. I'll take a right and we'll there used to be a garage on the right hand side. Yeah, I'll take the next right. Just might be able to get a glimpse of the beach. Just give you an idea of what it looks like. Just bear in mind you haven't seen it. It'll be very brief because I'll have to just loop around and join the road again. It's a really nice walk with a dog, or just to have a think and blow the cobwebs away. There you can get a glimpse of it there. And those on the left hand side are the fishermen's cottages. Quite a nice place to live, just with the beach right on your doorstep. I've got nowhere to park here, so I'll have to join the road again. It's all 30 miles per hour all the way along this road. So I'm going along at a very sedate speed. And Cornthwaite Park on the left hand side there. Spent many times there as a kid, so this is now my neck of the woods. I went to school just on the right. The school's since been knocked down. It's now a big thriving Church of England academy, but back in the day it was just known as Whitburn Comprehensive School, but we just call it the Comp. It's long gone now. And here we're entering the village of Whitburn. And we've got the Jolly Sailor pub on the left hand side there, which is a listed building. We'll take a left here. And this lovely street is called Front Street. Lewis Carroll author of Alice in Wonderland, actually spent a lot of time here. On the right hand side you'll see a big house on a hill, and that's where he lived. I did do a video here many years ago which I'll add the link. It's probably about 10 years since I made that, but I'm actually walking around this area and you can watch it and get more of a sense of the area where I grew up in, and all my family still live in this area. This was actually the route of my paper round as a kid. I used to go up here on a bike delivering newspapers. And I'll always remember once I lost the key for the house. It fell out my pocket and I had to try and retrace my steps to find the key. I always think of that when I'm back up this way. We're now going back up to Seaburn, which is where we started out. But I just took this detour just to show you a little bit of Whitburn. Lots of open space and fields, and there's an area called Cleedon Hills not too far away, which is a really nice area to get panoramic views of the whole location. Cleedon Hills are located just to the right hand side, but I won't go there today. Maybe a future video I could take a walk up there, if you're interested of course. So we'll take a right here, back towards Cleedon. Remember we passed through Cleedon, and I did say that Whitburn was on the left hand side. We'll actually take that left hand turn now, and it will take you down to more or less where I lived. All the bare trees as well. And you can see that low sun's casting shadows of the car. And it's nearly 10 o'clock in the morning. The sun will be gone by 4 p.m. and we'll be back in darkness. So we spend a lot of time in darkness this time of year. Just entering Cleedon again now. I once had a little car crash, if you like. Well, somebody went into the back of the car when I was at the traffic lights. And it happened just around here, many years ago. Just going to take a right now and go down that road which leads to Whitburn, which connects to where we've just been, where the Lewis Carroll house was. Lots of farmland. There's an old school on the right hand side there. This is called Cleedon Lane and connects Cleedon and Whitburn. It's a nice walk up here in the summer. And Cleedon Hill Shields is just on the left-hand side. That's that place where we can go and get the nice highest view of the whole area. There used to be national speed limits down this road at one point, so you could go at 60, 70 mile an hour, but now it's 40 mile an hour. They changed it. You'll see my old street just on the left-hand side there where those houses are. I used to walk my dogs on the right-hand side, a little field. Yeah, this is my old neighbourhood. And Whitburn Pond is coming up on your right-hand side. Blink and you'll miss it. There it is. This is one way, so we have to take a right here, and it will take us back onto the Lewis Carroll house. We just passed it not long ago. We're just joining the road in a loop. So I have to take a left here. Well, I don't have to, but I will take a left. And there's the Lewis Carroll house on the left on top of the hill. It's an old vicarage. Very nice part of Whitburn this is. These are all the original houses from the village. And the Jolly Sailor pub is on the right-hand side there. And we're going to take a left and go back toward South Shields. Now the village of Whitburn, a lot of shops have closed down because of just the way things are at the moment with shops in general. But new shops open in the place, but sometimes they don't stay very long before they close. But we've got a microbrewery in Whitburn now, which sell their own brews. And that's a new craze at the moment, is microbreweries. Not pubs, but just a really small establishment that provides their own ales. So these houses on your right hand side are all new. This used to be an open field at one point, farmers' fields, but they've all been built on housing estates now. And there's another mill on the left hand side, similar to the one that we passed earlier at Fulwell. I also lived on this area for a few years when I was really young. So on the right hand side, on the main road, I lived there from the age of 7 to about 13, I think. They're just on the right hand side. I loved that house. And over on the left is my old school, when I was really young. And some of my nieces and nephews have also gone to that school. There's a big golf course just up on the hill on the left. And a place called Whitburn Lodge, which is passing on the right, which has now closed down and is now derelict, which is such a shame. It's a lovely building. You see it there? It's been lying derelict for about 15 years or more now. Over on the left is a group of miners' cottages. And in the recent storm, one of these on the very end lost their roof. Just passing it now, I don't think you could make it out, but it completely lost its roof. And we're now heading towards South Shields. You'll probably see the lighthouse on the right hand side there. That's Suter Lighthouse. And can you believe there actually used to be a thriving village here? This area on the right was once a community of houses and shops, which was all demolished. You would never think it existed now. And that on the left is what remains of the quarry. And it's all cordoned off now. It's very dangerous to approach it. And the cliffs on the coast side, which is the right, is all eroding away. And I've heard that they're going to close the road here and build it a little bit further inland because it's now in danger of collapsing and going into the sea. Can you see the barriers on the right hand side that stop you from going anywhere near the edge? On the right hand side you can see the Marsden Grotto, which is a really haunted pub. It's been on TV a few times on a programme called Most Haunted. And yeah, it's well documented that the pub owners leave a pint out at the end of the night, a pint of beer, and by morning it's gone. The ghost that drinks it, he's called Jack, the resident ghost. Spooky, eh? I could keep going ahead, but I'll take a left here. We're going back towards, we're back in South Shields now. To the right is the Marsden Inn pub. And you can see we have roundabouts everywhere in England. And all you do is if you miss your turn, you can just stay on the roundabout. So we'll go round. So you miss your turn, stay on the roundabout, go round again, and just take your exit on the next turn. Well guys, I hope you have enjoyed this. It's been a pleasure taking you for a mini tour. And of course, didn't really have a lot of time to explain a lot of things. But it's been a pleasure to have you aboard in the car with me. I wish you a fantastic day and